Let's talk about healthcare for a second. I'm Brett Knowles, CEO of Hirebook. Healthcare is a fascinating environment to try to work in because it's not like football where the offense line is on the field, then they go off and defense goes on the field. All of your different teams are on the field at the same time. Doctors, nurses, administrators, regulators, patients' families, and they all want something different from the healthcare system. They have different resources and different timelines. And the challenge is giving a holistic view that shows how all of them are working together and independently to allow us to manage an effective execution of your healthcare mandate. Hirebook does an awesome job of bringing those things together so that we can see holistically how we're delivering, but also tease out how every one element is working and allow them to manage their own teams. So let's take a quick look at how Hirebook can help you organize and run your hospital, clinic, and other healthcare organization. Let me take you for a quick tour of Hirebook. The principle is straightforward. We should be able to take an organization strategy and drill down into sub-objectives, sub-sub-objectives, and sub-sub-objectives as far down as you want to go. At any level, we should be able to see specific key results or KPIs that inform us of how well we're performing. We can allow the owner to give us some further assessments about how we're performing and commentary. And in this way, we can all see how the entire organization is performing across departments, across time. Now, within that framework, we might want to do something like show us all the activities and objectives which are at risk. And from there, we can decide where as a leadership team we need to focus our attention. In fact, we can go further. Maybe we can take a look at all elements that are at risk and also assessed to be at risk. So in some cases, the numbers might tell us that a process is at risk, but the owner is going to tell us it's okay, they understand what's going on, and it's under control. So in this way, management can focus their time. Now, of course, there's other ways to view performance. Some people prefer to view performance in what we call a tile view. So take a look at the overall organization and be able to drill into the sub-objectives. What this allows us to do is to begin to see cross-functionally how performance is going on. So I can drill down as far as I want in any objective and be able to see how we're working as a coordinated team towards that unified end goal. A third way of looking at it is through the organization chart. Now, the organization chart allows us to understand how each team and individual is performing. But we can drill down into teams and sub-teams to see within the organization chart how performance is occurring. So that's the technical side. That's how it is we can review performance. On the social side, we want to be able to assess how teams are doing. So think of being able to do a check-in where everyone on your team can assess how they're feeling, maybe answer a few simple questions about how the team has performed in the last period of time. What this allows you to do is to check in to see how the team is feeling about work. Now, you can link this to the objectives, but to a certain extent, this is beyond the objectives. So what we might be able to see is for any individual, how they're feeling and their specific answers. And this allows you to work back and forth with them through Hirebook, with messages back and forth about their observations and concerns. What this allows you to do is to coach your people without having to have a big team meeting or meeting one-on-one. This also becomes part of the employee's record. So at the end of the month, end of quarter, end of year, you can filter and access all the conversations you've had so you can have meaningful performance reviews. It's possible that above and beyond this communication, you might want to have a one-on-one with this employee. We can identify what topics we need to meet about and go on and have that one-on-one. So here's the meeting that I just set up. You can see that it's brought forward the topics I identified. I can add other topics, I can schedule it, and this allows me to have a one-on-one meeting with that employee about those specific issues. Again, this becomes a system of record. The third way that Hirebook allows us to engage in the right conversations is imagine once we take a look at those objectives, we might want to identify which ones need to be part of a team meeting. So now I can go to meetings and instead of looking at one-on-ones, look at team meetings. I can decide the topics are, who the participants need to be, whether I'm just calling up teams or a random collection of people. I can schedule it and bring forward specific topics that I've identified that we need to cover. Beyond that, I can add new agenda items. As I go through the meeting, I can assign specific action items and KPIs to individuals, and it links to their records so that whenever they take a look at Hirebook, they understand what their objectives are, what their key results are, but also what activities and actions they've been tasked with, and what their KPIs are that they need to monitor. All of this gets consolidated into an overall dashboard, which allows you to see how any one department is performing, both in terms of how they're feeling about work, their specific objectives, and if you wanted to, you can have their check-ins and follow-up information on a customizable dashboard. So Hirebook gives you that tool to see overall, cross-functionally, how your system is performing and what success looks like. Hopefully, this has been informative to you, and we'd love to have a conversation about how we can apply this in your environment. Thanks for your time.